Building a business is very much hustle. It's very much in your masculine. It's very much go, go, go. And what I'm trying to build is something that encourages women to listen to their feminine side, to listen to their softness, to not push just because they feel like they have to push.
You're listening to Co-Talks, conversations for the considered. A slower conversation with founders, creators, and people building life and business with more intention for people and planet. I'm Becca Bolton. Grab a chai, coffee, matcha, or wine. Let's yarn. Hello everyone and welcome back. I'm in a very special studio today with a wonderful guest, Izzy. Give us a hello.
Hello, nice to meet you all.
Izzy has recently arrived down under here in Australia from the tiny bit rainy UK, but that's not helping because it's raining here. But we have a very special friendship, and this friendship did not start on Australian soil. It started in Mama Bali. I'm so excited to deep dive into why Izzy is here today and the business that she founded. It's all about balancing purpose with pressure. And I'm so grateful to have you here, Izzy. Could you tell us a little bit about yourself and what you founded, what this brand is?
Thank you so much. Yeah, so I founded Cyclica last year after training as a menstrual cycle educator and a yoga teacher and a meditation teacher. And I just wanted a space that women could come together, learn about their cycle, learn about how to actually deal with their body, because it's just not what we're taught every day in school. We're just thrown the bare minimum and told that we just need to get on with it. So yeah, I created this space for women to come and learn about themselves and connect to their bodies and connect to themselves. Yeah.
It's so special. And I feel I was meant to meet you for a reason in Bali. It was very much a pivotal time for both of us with our businesses and really thinking about how we are reinventing or inventing ourselves in this next chapter, which is why it felt so right to bring you on as the first guest for Co-Talks. It feels quite surreal.
It does.
Yeah, and it's just amazing to see how your brand has evolved from when we were in Bali, 6 months ago.
Yeah. It would not be where it was. Well, it wouldn't have probably been birthed if it wasn't for us meeting, because we sat down for a good few hours, a good few days and planned it all out. So yeah.
That's so nice. So here we are. Could you tell us a little bit about what the tension was before you started Cyclica?
Yeah, so I think there's a few kind of layers to this. Most of all, I would say the pressure to step outside of the norm, because I am somebody who I wanted to be an entrepreneur my whole life. I've never wanted to kind of do the standard 9 to 5, get a job. And I've tried so many things over my kind of like late teens, early 20s, that starting Cyclica was a bit like, okay, well, is this just another project that isn't going to go anywhere? So I think there's definitely the pressure from the outside world who don't understand in entrepreneurship and don't understand how in like Wi-Fi money, in how you're ever going to actually make this a profitable business. So I think that was definitely one of the biggest pressures. And another one is talking about something that people don't want to talk about. People don't want to talk about their menstrual cycle. People don't want to talk about nervous system regulation, and people don't want to look at what is actually causing them to be dysregulated and to be out of touch with their bodies. People are just very happy to go about their life and just not actually look at some of the triggers. So it's quite challenging. It's a challenging thing to have to bring to the table and like make people aware of, because it's not always a nice conversation.
Well, no, it's a very uncomfortable conversation for people. But I think more and more people are crying out and screaming out to have more resources.
Yeah.
I mean, Izzy has an amazing podcast called The Good Girl Rebellion. If you haven't checked it out, please do.
Thank you.
And the topics that you cover, I mean, I just don't know how you come up with so many ideas, but it truly shows how much information we are not provided with.
Yeah.
And it is a right to know about this.
Yeah.
So yes, it's an uncomfortable topic, but it's about unraveling that and getting over that tension that people might have within and actually providing proper knowledge that women need to know, but also men.
Yeah.
Like I always make it known that when I have my bleed and, I'll mention it to my family and I'll say it in a polite etiquette way, like, Mother Nature has visited me today. And Dad's like, oh, I don't need to know that. I'm like, but you do.
You do.
You do need to know
Why
that.
is it not part of our everyday conversation? Why is it such a taboo subject that nobody wants to talk about? Because it affects us from the age of like 11 to in our 40s. It's a part of our everyday life. And I think, it's something that we need to bring to the table.
Definitely.
Most definitely.
I think it really relates to this series deeply as well about being unconventional. I think, entrepreneurs, yes, but also with the topic that we're talking about and what you do. being unconventional is hard.
Yeah.
But there is a reason why unconvention works.
Yep.
And that's how you make change and that's how you make impact.
Yeah.
So it's people like you, where we need people like you. And I don't think people realize how hard it can be and how alienating it can be. And maybe the doubt of, should I actually be doing this? Is it another project? Do people really want to know about it? Am I going to get the rejection? But then there's going to be some that are like, thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you for speaking our truth and giving everyone in this community a voice.
Yeah, I do agree. And it said it's your duty to stand up in your power and deliver the message that you know you were put on this earth to deliver, because there's people who need to hear it. And I think it's so true. People like us who do the unconventional thing, you have to set the bar and set the standard for the people who still dream about doing it but don't have the confidence yet.
Yeah. And it really takes courage. It takes a lot of courage, ignoring the little voices in your side, in your head, and trusting the path. I think that's something that I'm really inspired by. I think you're touching on that in a podcast, or you have, about just trusting that everything's going to work out. And I think for entrepreneurs, that's just something that you undeniably have to your core.
Yeah, I do agree. I think it's a really, really crucial skill to have. And it is actually an episode that's coming out this week. Obviously, this will be way in the past. So go and listen to the episode on the Good Girl Rebellion, which will be out by now. Yeah, all about having unwavering belief that everything will work out. It's not like related to my business, but obviously moving to Australia, I had nowhere to live. I needed to find somewhere to live, and I didn't get a few places that I wanted. And I just had this kind of fear that it's not going to work out. And then I was like, actually, you know what? It is going to work out. Everything always works out. And I just need to just not worry about it. And then I had the realization that so many people don't think like that. No. And it is such a crucial part of, entrepreneurship, is having that. I've always had this belief that I'm going to make it. I don't know what avenue all throughout my life. I don't know how it's going to work, but I know I am going to get where I want to get to. Yeah. It's just, trusting the process. And
exactly. And I think that's what gets you past those tensions and that pressure to actually just doing it and just starting it and starting a podcast and going for it. And when you do have this path, I mean, you've gone through many different what you thought were projects, but I feel that that's all led you up to here, to this destination of Cyclica and the Good Girl Rebellion.
Yeah.
What have you done to keep in alignment with building that and bringing that to life?
I think I've just always stayed true to my authenticity. I think that is my number one takeaway, especially with Cyclica, is I've tried all these different things, and yes, they were always a little part of me. But I think Cyclica is very much birthed from my own practice, my own routine, my own life. And I think having something that you are so deeply passionate about and something that is a reflection of something that is such a core belief for yourself and a part of you is really important. Like you with Considered, sustainability is something that you believe and you're so passionate about. So that is why that goes hand in hand, and it's the same kind of concept. I think you have to have something that you're so deeply passionate about, something you can talk about forever.
And Izzy definitely can. She's a wealth of knowledge. And it comes back to that. It's just something that you can't ignore. And so when you do listen to that, you're automatically in alignment.
Yeah.
And I think as well, like you've had all of this knowledge and this passion and alignment to do this because you're meant to do this. And I think, when there's doubt that comes through, especially with starting a business like this, you always have to remind yourself to come back to that.
Yeah.
Because there's people exactly like me who's like asking you all these questions because you know so much, and maybe it surprises yourself sometimes as well. But it's important, and it's just something that we can't ignore. Alignment, it's important.
Yeah. Like when we were in Bali and I was obviously trying to create a photography business, and you just turned around to me and you said, "Can I speak freely? Can I just say, why are you doing this?" When we had sat in a women's circle and you were like, "This is where you belong." And I was like, I know, I'd been thinking the same.
I was like, why is she avoiding what she is meant to do? I was like, she's done all of the stepping stones, has this wealth of knowledge, has done all of these courses. She's gone to India, done meditation, you've done your yoga, you do women's circles. Like, there's so much. It just baffled me. And sometimes maybe you need someone to point it out and to also say, hey, I believe in you too.
Yeah, I do. I definitely needed that push and that kind of acknowledgement from the outside that, no, this is what you're supposed to do.
Yeah. And I think that's what I needed as well with starting this podcast. It's been on my list for like 4 years. And it's like, just start it. And I think, because we're living together at the moment, which is such a blessing. And it's just one of those conversations, and we start to bounce off ideas. And I think that's a really nice thing about being entrepreneurs together in the same space, is you can bounce off one another. You don't feel alone. You're in alignment together on this unique journey in different ways. But I mean, it can be so alienating doing this on your own. And obviously, like, the self-doubt comes through. But I have a lot of gratitude because being around you and seeing you record all of these episodes, I'm like, why am I not doing this yet?
Yeah.
So we definitely met each other for a good reason.
100%.
In Bali, in Australia, which is great. And so obviously you've founded Cyclica. There is very much a journey with that. Can you tell us a little bit about what you're trying to protect within yourself?
I think building a business is very much hustle. It's very much in your masculine. It's very much go, go, go. And what I'm trying to build is something that encourages women to listen to their feminine side, to listen to their softness, to not push just because they feel like they have to push. And I think that is the biggest thing, trying to protect that aspect of myself, but also building a business on the other side where sometimes you do need to hustle, but then sometimes you don't feel like hustling because you're maybe on your bleed, or maybe you're in your late luteal, or you don't want to show up. And I think it's about finding the balance between allowing to give yourself the permission to show up when you want to, but then also having the discipline to know that you can then show up in other ways if you don't feel like showing up how you were supposed to. It's about building something that isn't going to completely burn me out, about building something that's going to be sustainable, that I can carry on and I can take with me into the future, and not just hustling and having like 12, 14-hour days staring at my screen where I then get so disconnected from the outside world. I think it's about having the balance with time and your mental capacity and how you actually feel as a woman.
Being in tune with that. I feel called out. But it's true. And I've seen that very much since we've been living together. You know, you really implement these practices to make sure you stand grounded, that you're not always in your masculine energy. And thankfully that's rubbed off on me as well a little bit, maybe not too much. I have a bit of a coffee problem, but it's amazing, you know, because you are practicing what you preach and you're bringing that into your business. Like, you've got the purpose, you're protecting it, and you're sticking to the alignment. And, you know, being a woman as well is very different to being a man. Surprise, surprise. So how are we expected to show up every single day, month on end, the same way when we have 4 seasons?
Yeah, exactly.
I don't get it.
Exactly.
I don't get it. Yeah. And do you approach with your cycle? Is that how you schedule? Is that how you do things with your business around that?
Yeah. So what I will try and do is I'll try and plan, okay, so around ovulation, this is when I feel my best, I look my best, I'm my most confident and like outgoing. So I will try and plan like all of my kind of filming content around then, like follicular, ovulation, sometimes interluteal, depending on where I am and how I've kind of planned things forward. And then things like writing content and scheduling things is in your luteal phase, because that's like you're crossing off your to-do list. You're just getting everything done. And then birthing new ideas, coming up with creative, like new projects, like making things start is your follicular phase. So that's always a great time to kind of start things fresh.
Like your spring, right?
Yeah, in a spring. And then during my bleed, I'll try and do as little as possible. Probably just like post on Instagram, post things that I've already created, or create like B-roll posts if I have to. But yeah, try and spend as much time like offline in my bleed.
Yeah, hibernate, go within. It's winter. Yeah, but like nourishing yourself during that in a winter is very important. Yeah, I've definitely tried to approach as well, starting to learn about my cycle as well. I mean, I definitely don't know as much as you, but thankfully we have you in your podcast and I can text you to help me as well with when I'm filming content or when I'm doing presentations with client meetings, even for social activities, really looking at that. So I'm not stretching myself, so I can show up as the best version of me for me, but also for my business, because without you, there's nothing.
It's very true.
But it's made me realize that, your brain and your hormones are not functioning the same.
Yeah, same.
It's funny. I mean, you even say that you lose your words.
I sometimes cannot string a sentence together. I just go to talk. Where did it go? It's gone.
Obviously, running a business, it is constant, and you've got to show up every day and run it and be your wholehearted self. Is there anything that your business has cost you and the alignment for you in your life? Yeah,
so I would say my business has cost me a normal life. It's very much.
But what is a normal life?
What is a normal life? There, who knows? But I would say for me, it's cost me the ease of just fitting into, as I would say, the matrix, and slotting into life with my friends, my family, like doing all the normal things, having that kind of safety blanket and protective bubble of, okay, well, this is just how life goes. I think it's definitely cost me, I wouldn't say friendships, but it's definitely cost me some form of connections with people who don't understand. And I think when you're building something like this, like you say, you need community, you need the people like you, like other people I've met along my journey. You need the people who understand what you're doing and who get it and who you can talk to about it, because doing it alone is really, really lonely.
It is.
It is lonely.
Conventional is lonely as fuck.
It is lonely as fuck because no one gets you and you feel like you're the only person in the room who speaks the language that you speak. And when you're in a room of people and they don't speak your language, it's a very, very lonely place to be. So I feel like it's definitely cost me some form of comfort.
Yeah.
In my life, it's definitely cost me some form of normality, because here I am on the other side of the world in Australia, 10,000 miles away from my friends and family.
But how great to say you're living the life in Noosa, and in the middle of winter you're going for ocean swims and watching whales.
Exactly. I wouldn't have it any other way, but that's the thing. It's cost what would be a normal life.
Yeah.
And
it's just something that we're sold.
I don't regret it at all.
It's lonely. It's alienating. It's hard. And I agree. I think the moment I've stepped really into Considered fully, I've had to like turn a dial down of myself when I'm with other people that don't have their own businesses. You know, they've got the 9 to 5, they've got that path where they've got their partner, they're going to get married, they've got a stable job, they've got the one annual holiday that they plan. They look forward to the Christmas holidays and the public holidays. I'm like, oh, it's a public holiday? Not for me. But it's hard because you have to almost shut a version of you down, and you lose that kind of sense of comfort with friendships, which was also like a blessing in disguise for me when I went to Bali. I felt the need that I had to go to Bali, and it had a bigger meaning to what I realized. And one of those was actually meeting a community of people, like-minded people, entrepreneurs, people that are running their businesses with the same mindset and having that supportive tissue. And there is a big community of that in Bali, which is incredible. But yeah, it's hard.
It is very hard. But I think, especially somewhere like Bali where almost everybody's a digital nomad.
Yeah.
And seeing that you live in, well, for example, for me, I'm from a small town in the south of England, and it's like you live in a bubble of, I'm the only person I know doing anything like this. And it's like, okay, well, this isn't achievable. And then you go somewhere like Bali and you're like, no, there's like over 1,000 people here doing it, making it work. Like
making
it can.
Salary of what a 9 to 5 is making.
Exactly.
On their terms, their hours, around their cycle as well. Yeah. It's unconventional. It's hard, but it's so worth it.
It's lonely, but it's worth it.
Yeah, I wouldn't trade it for anything else. I mean, I feel like, you know, you're working towards something that also is yours.
And I think as well, you have one shot at life.
Yes.
Like, this is your one chance. And I think if you know you're supposed to do something and you don't have the balls to do it, you need to find the balls, because this is your one chance to actually find out what your full potential is. I think coming to earth and not standing in your full potential and not doing what you know you were put on this earth to do, not sharing your voice, not speaking your truth, not creating something that you know you can look back and be proud of, I think it's such a waste.
Yeah, I mean, it's the opposite of being grateful.
Yeah.
Where is the gratitude for this one life that you get?
Yeah.
Make magic with it.
Yeah.
People are just sold this Australian American dream with the fence, the white picket fence, and the family.
More
happy. But are people even questioning, is this right? Is this normal? Or are we just following suit with everyone else?
I think this is the thing. I think we are so distracted that so many people, I mean, I know for me, I didn't kind of look at where I was going until COVID happened. And then I had like 12 and a half weeks at home, completely paid. And I was like, I don't want to work.
You actually had a moment, time to yourself to stop.
Yeah. I remember I don't think I've told you this, but I would use these eye drops when I worked in the office because I would always have red eyes. Like I would always look so tired, and I would use these eye drops to make my eyes white so that I looked fresher. And COVID happened, and I remember looking in the mirror and thinking, I don't have red eyes anymore.
Wow.
And I was like, something needs to change. This is not where I'm supposed to be.
Normal. Definitely not. I don't think it's normal for most.
No, but no, so many people don't actually stop and ask themselves what makes them happy.
Yeah.
And give themselves the confidence and knowing that they have the ability to step out of the norm
Yeah.
and create something.
I mean, if you're doing something that you love,
Mm.
you don't feel like you've worked a day in your life.
No.
And to do it with passion is how you create a healthy way, and not putting eye drops in your eyes because you're tired. But it's the same, to be honest, and linking it back to Cyclica, it's the same. I would go into the office, pop a ibuprofen or pop a paracetamol, and be like, all right, I'll just get it done with.
Yeah.
I couldn't be in my home, my humble abode, with things that comfort me, a heat pack to help me feel better, or just rest. You just have to slap a Band-Aid on and keep going.
Yeah, and it doesn't matter if you're like having really bad period cramps and you have a big board meeting and you really have to put on your best face. This is, I think, like, especially the 9 to 5, like you said, it was created for the masculine.
Yes.
We are not supposed to show up the same every day.
Yeah, we're not on a 24-hour cycle at all. At all. And can you tell us a little bit as well with Cyclica and obviously Good Girl Rebellion as well, what keeps you grounded?
I think, I know I've mentioned it before, but my practices
Yeah.
is one of them. Like, that's a massive thing. I think as well, understanding that, yes, in the age of AI, in the age of like all of this kind of outside information, all of these opinions from other people, it's actually just returning to your center and understanding that you are very capable alone. You have everything you need already within you. And when I come up with ideas, for example, for the Good Girl Rebellion, it's like I'll have like a conversation with somebody, or I'll have journaled about something. And sometimes you could put something into AI, into ChatGPT, and say, give me 50 ideas.
Yeah.
And like they just won't resonate. So I think it's like it's returning back to yourself. It's keeping yourself grounded within yourself, within your practices. Like I will, as I said, sit down and I will reflect. So in the morning, I might meditate or I might journal, and ideas will come through. And then I will allow them to kind of bubble into episodes or bubble into content, which I think is so important, because if it comes from you and it comes from the heart, it means more.
It does.
Yeah.
It has purpose.
It has purpose. So I think, yeah, definitely keeping yourself grounded with practices, finding what works for you. Like I could quite easily sit in silence for an hour.
Lovely.
But I know that that's really challenging for some people. So it's just finding what works for you and finding the ways that you can keep yourself grounded.
Yeah, and it's really important to be grounded in your business. And I think something that I'm trying to practice more, which you've inspired me yet again, is how to implement that in my life before I start my day. And you asked me the other day, you were like, what do you actually want to do in the morning? Not your to-do list, just like genuinely what you wanted to do. And the things that I came up with was, I want to be in silence, write down some reflections, some gratitude, take a moment, do a bit of breathing, and then write my to-do list for the day. And then obviously my Wordle and Duolingo. But it's important. And you made me realize, because yesterday I was quite emotional in the afternoon. Like normally I'd be able to handle everything in my very much masculine era, but I was feeling very, very feminine, very emotional, very soft. And I just needed to lean into that. And I was like, why am I feeling like this? And you made a good point. And I rushed off in the morning very early with giving myself literally 10 minutes to get up and drive like 30 minutes to go meet someone. Brush my teeth, off I go, put clothes on. And I felt so I wasn't centered at all. I wasn't grounded. And then that rippled into the rest of my day, which then affected my business and everything else. So it's important to have a practice that keeps you grounded to then be able to show up for your business intentionally and with purpose every day.
Yeah. And I think, yes, I probably sound like a broken record when I say like meditate or do something, but like whatever it is that works for you, just have that. Even if it's like 10 minutes of, you do 3 minutes of 3 different things, like something for the body, something for the mind, something for the soul. Yeah. Something, even if you just do something for the body, something for the mind, something for the soul, it means that you are kind of creating a practice that is well-rounded and something that is going to keep you grounded for the rest of the day. Because when we just wake up and we look at our phone and we're just on Instagram and we're just scrolling and on our emails and on our text messages, we're just filled with so much crap.
So much.
And you can't be grounded when you come from a place that's that triggering.
Yeah,
because it
information
is.
overload. You're worrying about not only your problems, but the rest of the world at the same time.
Like Jay Shetty said in his book once, and this has never ever left my mind, but like, you wouldn't open your bedroom door and let in 15 people first thing in the morning. So why do you open your phone and let in their notifications? Because it's like the same thing. And that just stuck in my mind. So now my phone is on Do Not Disturb until 9 a.m. So if you need to contact me before 9 a.m, I'm very sorry, but you can't.
We are not in operation. Please leave a message after the video.
One more thing that definitely keeps me grounded, though, I will say, is community.
Yeah.
100%.
For sure.
You have to find. If they don't exist in your everyday life, you have to go online, you have to go to new places, you have to find the people who understand you, because then you understand that the world is bigger than the bubble you grew up.
100%. And I think that is something that happened to both of us at a very, very similar time, you know, and it was also a hard thing to come back to when we returned to our countries. Yeah. But it's about being in alignment with your community and people that just like get you. Yeah. And you don't have to feel like a burden with bringing up certain things. You can feel fully supported. And I mean, that's why I'm so grateful to have you as my beautiful friend now and, you know, a fellow partner in the industry. But it's true. A community, whether it's creative or not, it's important. And you need to find them and not just stick to what you've always known, because we change. I mean, your 20s is evolving constantly and you really need to meet yourself with the version that you are and connect with people on that level too.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
So I'm glad I met you at the right time. And stay tuned. We'll see where we're at in a year. And hopefully a few more subscribers and a few more people that have dropped the 9 to 5, listened to their path and started doing things with purpose and impact. It's truly inspirational. And honestly, as you have so much knowledge in your brain, and I cannot wait to see such a good impact that you make on so many women's lives and men as well. Thank you.
Thank you so much for having me. You are an inspiration each and every day.